Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today things are getting intense. We're not just playing games, we're going beyond the game. Peeling back the curtain, looking under the hood and exploring the very fabric of gaming itself. Think you know video games? Think again. We're about to learn together, and trust me, there's a lot to discover. Buckle up because this is going to be a wild ride. Today we're diving into 10 uncommon facts about computer-based video games you probably didn't know. And this isn't your average trivia, no cereal box facts here. We're going deep. From games with AI so smart they need two brains, to virtual plagues studied by real scientists, to code that simulates actual geology. These are stories of passion, innovation, and the beautiful absurdity that defines gaming. We're exploring the hidden history and secret mechanics behind the games we love. This is more than a list. It's a journey into what makes video games one of the most fascinating art forms on the planet. Get ready for the nitty-gritty, the facts that make you go, no way. We'll see how a student project became a global phenomenon, and how a legendary horror game was almost something else entirely. So get comfortable, grab a snack, silence your phone, and let's jump in. Alright, let's start at the very beginning, the genesis, the big bang of video games. I want you to picture it, 1962. No internet, no consoles, no fancy graphics cards. Just massive, room-sized computers at MIT. A group of brilliant, nerdy programmers, led by the legendary Steve Russell, decided to do something incredible with their PDP-1 computer. They weren't trying to make a commercial product, they were just pushing the limits, seeing what was possible. And from that spirit of pure innovation, Space War was born. This wasn't Pong. This was two-player-controlled spaceships, complete with torpedoes, navigating the gravitational pull of a star in the center of the screen. It was complex, it was strategic, it was a video game. This game was a revelation. It was so ahead of its time. It had physics. It had real-time controls. It was shared freely among the early computer communities, passed from one university to another like a sacred text. And its DNA is in almost every game you've ever played. The idea of direct control over an on-screen avatar, the concept of a simulated physical space, the simple joy of blowing up your friend, it all started here. Nolan Bushnell, the guy who would later found Atari, saw Space War, and was so inspired it led him to create Computer Space, the first commercial arcade game. So next time you're dogfighting in a futuristic jet or exploring a new galaxy, pour one out for Space War, the granddaddy of them all. Okay, from the simple beginnings of Space War, let's leap forward to a game so mind-bogglingly complex it almost defies description. I'm talking about Dwarf Fortress. If you've never heard of it, imagine a game where you manage a colony of dwarves, but every single aspect of the world is simulated with terrifying detail. I'm not just talking about the dwarves' moods or their jobs. I mean the game generates entire worlds with hundreds of years of history, unique geological layers, specific mineral deposits, and entire ecosystems before you even start playing. It's less of a game and more of a universe in a box. And the graphics, it's all ASCII characters. Yeah, pure, unadulterated complexity. But here's where it gets truly insane. The procedural generation engine in Dwarf Fortress is so sophisticated, so detailed in how it simulates things like erosion, mineral vein formation, and rainfall patterns, that its code has been studied by actual geologists. It's a testament to the obsession of its two creators, the Addams brothers. They weren't just making a game, they were trying to model reality itself, piece by painstaking piece. This dedication to deep, emergent simulation has had a huge influence on modern game design, inspiring the procedural generation you see in games like Minecraft and No Man's Sky. Dwarf Fortress proves that sometimes the most compelling worlds aren't handcrafted, they're grown. Alright, let's talk about fear. Pure, pants-wetting terror. If you've played Alien Isolation, you know what I'm talking about. That game's xenomorph isn't just a scary monster that pops out of vents, it feels intelligent, it feels like it's hunting you, specifically, and there's a very good reason for that. The developers at Creative Assembly gave the Alien AI not one, but two brains to work with. That's right, it's a two-brain killing machine, and you are its favorite chew toy. This isn't some scripted enemy following a set path, this is something else entirely. It's a system designed for maximum unpredictability, and let's be honest, maximum psychological trauma. So how does it work? The first brain is called the Director AI. Think of it as the Dungeon Master. It knows where you are at all times. It knows your general location, but it doesn't just cheat and send the aliens straight to you. Instead, its job is to build tension, It gives the alien's second brain hints, clues, and objectives. The second brain is the alien AI itself. This is the one that controls the creature on the ground. It knows where you are. It only knows what it can see, hear, and what the director AI is whispering in its ear. This separation is what makes it so terrifying. The alien will investigate a sound, patrol an area you're in, and learn from your behavior, all while the director AI is pulling the strings to make sure you never ever feel safe. Minecraft. It's more than a game, it's a global phenomenon, a cultural touchstone. But even the biggest creations have to start somewhere, and the story of Minecraft is a fantastic example of building upon the ideas of others. Marcus Notchperson didn't just wake up one day and invent block-based survival crafting out of thin air. He was a gamer and a developer, and he was heavily inspired by a few key, lesser-known titles that laid the groundwork. The most direct inspiration was a game called Infiniminor, a competitive mining game where players dig for minerals and build simple structures. The blocky aesthetic, the first-person perspective, the digging and building, it's all there. Notch saw it and had a spark of genius, but the inspiration didn't stop there. He wanted more than just competitive mining. He wanted a world with depth, a world that felt alive. And for that, he looked to the legendary complexity of, you guessed it, Dwarf Fortress. He loved the idea of a simulation-style game where stories could emerge naturally from the game's systems. He took the block-based gameplay of Infiniminor, blended it with the survival and emergent narrative concepts of Dwarf Fortress, and added his own secret sauce accessibility. He made it simple to understand, but with near infinite depth. The result was Minecraft, a perfect storm of brilliant ideas that changed gaming forever. We've all had those gaming sessions, the ones where you say just one more level and suddenly the sun is coming up. But have you ever wondered what the absolute limit is? How long could a person possibly play a video game without stopping? Well, meet Okan Kaya, an absolute legend from Australia who decided to find out. In 2012, he sat down in front of his computer to play Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and didn't get up for a very, very long time. He wasn't just casually playing, he was going for a Guinness World Record for the longest video game marathon on a computer. And he didn't just break it, he absolutely shattered it. Okan Kaya played for an insane 138 hours, 34 minutes and 20 seconds. That's over 5.5 days. To put that in perspective, that's like watching the entire extended Lord of the Rings trilogy almost 12 times back-to-back. Under the official rules, he was allowed a 10-minute break for every hour of play, which he could save up for longer rests for things like, sleeping and eating. He powered through with energy drinks and light meals, battling not just other players online but his own physical and mental exhaustion. It's a monumental feat of endurance that makes my all-nighters look like a quick nap. I get tired just thinking about it. Truly, a god among gamers. Let's talk about a game that is so complex its economy is studied by actual real-world economists. Seriously, I'm talking about EVE Online, the sprawling space MMO, where thousands of players pilot starships, form massive corporations, and wage interstellar war. In most games, the economy is fake. You kill a monster, it drops 10 gold, you buy a sword. Simple. In EVE Online, nearly every single item, from the smallest mining laser to the most gargantuan, city-sized Titan warship, is built by other players from resources that were mined by other players. This creates a completely player-driven, free market economy of unimaginable scale and complexity. This virtual economy is so robust and behaves so much like a real one that it has its own market fluctuations, inflation, recessions, and even insider trading scandals. The game's developer, CCP Games, even hired a PhD economist, Dr. Ajolfur Gudmundsson, to act as the game's chief economist, analyzing the flow of trillions of in-game currency, ISK, and publishing quarterly reports, just like a real central bank. The data from EV has been used in academic papers to study economic theories in a closed system. It's a living laboratory for economics, where corporate espionage and market manipulation have real, tangible consequences for thousands of players. It's absolutely wild. Half-Life. The name itself is, well, legendary. It redefined the first-person shooter genre with its incredible storytelling, seamless world, and of course, the iconic Gordon Freeman and his trusty crowbar. Most of us think of it as a sci-fi action masterpiece. But what if I told you that it started its life as something much, much darker. The original concept for Half-Life was actually far more of a straight-up horror game, with the team at Valve drawing heavy inspiration from the master of horror himself, Stephen King, specifically his short story, The Mist. The early codename for the project was even Quiver, which is a reference to the Arrowhead project from that story. Just imagine a Half-Life that was less about action-packed shootouts and more about pure, unrelenting survival horror. The early designs were grittier, the atmosphere was thicker, and the focus was really on making the player feel truly vulnerable and terrified. Now, while a lot of that horror DNA definitely made it into the final product, headcrabs are the stuff of nightmares, the team at Valve eventually decided to pivot. They shifted the tone to be more of a sci-fi action thriller, blending the scares with empowering combat and puzzle solving. It was a brilliant move that resulted in the classic we know and love. But honestly, it's fascinating to think about the terrifying King-inspired horror game that Half-Life almost was. Sometimes the greatest ideas come from the most unexpected places. Portal is one of the most clever, funny, and honestly mind-bendingly brilliant games ever made. The Portal gun is an iconic piece of gaming history. And believe it or not, the entire multi-million-dollar franchise started as a humble student project. That's right. A group of students at the DigiPen Institute of Technology created a game called Narbacular Drop. The core mechanic was, well, it was portals. You could place an entry portal on one surface and an exit portal on another to solve puzzles and navigate the environment. Sound familiar? It was genius. The team showcased their game at a career fair, and who happened to be in attendance? The folks from Valve. They saw Narbacular Drop, their jaws hit the floor, and in a move that is just legendary in the industry, Gabe Newell reportedly hired the entire student team on the spot. He didn't just buy the idea, he brought in the creators themselves and gave them the resources of Valve to turn their brilliant concept into a full-fledged game. They were tasked with integrating their portal mechanic into the Half-Life universe, which led to the creation of Aperture Science, GLaDOS, and of course the masterpiece that is Portal. It's the ultimate success story, a testament to raw talent and a company smart enough to recognize it. On September 13, 2005, something happened in World of Warcraft that no one could have predicted. A new raid, Zul'Gurub, was released, and its final boss, Hakkar the Soulflayer, had a nasty debuff spell called Corrupted Blood. It would drain a player's health over time and could spread to nearby players. It was only supposed to exist inside the raid instance, but players discovered a bug. Hunter and Warlock pets, if dismissed while infected, would keep the debuff when they were resummoned back in a major city, and all hell broke loose. The plague spread like wildfire. What happened next was chaos. The Corrupted Blood incident became a full-blown virtual pandemic. High-level players could survive for a bit, but low-level players would die almost instantly. Major cities like Orgrimmar and Ironforge became virtual graveyards, their streets littered with the skeletons of thousands of players. Some players acted as healers trying to help others. Some, in a grim reflection of reality, would intentionally travel to uninfected areas to spread the plague. The whole event was so chaotic and mirrored real-world epidemics so closely that it caught the attention of actual epidemiologists. Scientists from Tufts University and the CDC studied the event to model how human populations might react to a real pandemic, analyzing player behavior to understand quarantine, public panic, and the role of superspreaders. A bug in a video game became a valuable, if accidental, scientific study. We end with a true legend, Doom. Released in 1993, it wasn't just a game, it was a revolution. It popularized the FPS genre, online multiplayer, and a culture of modding. But one of the most brilliant things ID Software did was release the game's source code in 1997. They basically handed the keys to the kingdom over to the fans, and the fans responded with a level of creativity and technical absurdity that is still going on today. The unofficial motto of the Doom modding community became, if it has a screen and a processor, it can run Doom, and they have taken that challenge to heart. And they have ported Doom to everything. We're talking running it on a digital camera, on an iPod Nano, on a smart toaster. Someone got it running on a pregnancy test. I'm not making that up. They've ported it to ATMs, oscilloscopes, and even the touch bar of a MacBook Pro. This legacy is about more than just a fun technical challenge. It's a testament to the elegant, efficient code that John Carmack and the team at ID created. But more than that, it's a beautiful symbol of gaming culture itself. The passion, the ingenuity, and the sheer glorious desire to do something just because you can. Doom isn't just a game, it's a benchmark for what's possible. And there you have it. 10 facts that just scratch the surface of the incredible, weird, and wonderful history of computer video games. From the brilliant minds at MIT creating Space War, to the sheer beautiful chaos of the corrupted Blood Plague, it's a journey filled with so much more than just high scores and kill streaks. It's about innovation, human ingenuity, and the communities that form around these shared digital worlds. Learning about the two-brained alien AI or how Minecraft was built on the shoulders of giants just gives me a whole new level of appreciation for the art and science that goes into the games we pour so many hours into. It really makes you think about what's next, right? What insane AI, what complex simulation, what student project is being worked on right now that will completely change the game in the next 10 or 20 years? The possibilities are literally endless. And that's what makes being a gamer so exciting. We're part of a constantly evolving story, and every new release, every new idea, adds another chapter. I hope this deep dive gave you a new perspective on some of your favorite games, or introduced you to some legendary stories you'd never heard before. Thanks for watching. I had an absolute blast digging into these, and I hope you did too. Let us know in the comments which facts surprised you the most, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of gaming. Was it the two-brained alien, the real-world economy of Eve, or the fact that you can play Doom on a toaster? I want to hear all about it. Until next time, stay awesome, and keep on gaming.